What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are healthy and well today on this beautiful day. Welcome all my new supporters as well. Can't forget about the new supporters. Thank you so much for joining us today and for giving me a chance. I hope everyone enjoys this video. Highly recommended, by the way. Shout out to Sam Ford. Original video link will be down below in the description. Today we'll be reacting to 8 things Australians don't pay for, but Brits do. I'm going to take a wild guess and assume that Sam is a Brit. I'm assuming, you know? Don't take my word for it, but I'm pretty much sure. If not, then hey, I guess we're gonna learn a little bit about what, British people actually pay for versus the free things. The free things that people are getting out there in Australia that you do not have to pay for on a daily basis. Now, I know any people from the United States watching this video, I know that we can relate to the Brits as far as like paying for things that Australians use on a daily basis. But I'm pretty sure us Americans, man, we're paying times 2. They be doubling, tripling the prices on us. I ain't even fair out here for real. Let's jump right into this. Original video link will be down below in the description.
When you move countries, you expect the obvious... when you move countries, you expect the obvious things to be different, like the products on the supermarket shelves, or the accents, or even the street signs. But I didn't expect money itself to work differently. At first, I genuinely thought I was doing something illegal, like surely someone's going to stop me for not tapping my card right now. But no, This is just how it works here. And when you start to see what I mean, you'll start to question why we even pay for these things in the UK in the first place. So today I'm going to walk you through the 8 things you don't have to pay for in Australia, but you absolutely would in the UK. So grab a cuppa, let's get into it.
Hey, you want to know one way to extort the whole world? I'm gonna give you one. Make them pay for water, man. Anyway, are we paying for the bottles or are we paying for the water?
Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Sam, a British actor documenting my journey of rebuilding my life in Australia. So number 1, beach parking. While I currently live in Brisbane, Australia, I'm actually back for a very short amount of time in the UK to visit friends and family. And we recently went on a little trip to Cornwall. And if you know it, it's one of the prettiest coastal counties in the UK. There's lots of beaches, lots of surf culture. But I kid you not, every single beach we went to, we paid an absolute fortune for parking, and they charge you by the hour. It's not cheap. In Australia, you pull up to some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in my entire life, like the one in Currumbin, for example. The water is crystal clear blue.
Look at the skyline. Look at the city. Look at the city and the skyline. Look at the mountains. Yeah, this is beautiful. Now, you talk about paying top dollar hourly for parking. It's worth it for Australia around here. Cornwall is very beautiful, though. I pay top dollar out at Cornwall as well. Now, we got to pay hourly as well out here in the States, man. Range from about, if it's a weekday, you could catch about $5, $8. But if it's like a weekend and it's packed, especially in the summer, boy, that thing is up. 15, 20. 15, 20. Pay to leave. Oh my gosh. Man, they be getting us. You got to get there at an early time though, because you pay them early fees. You ain't gonna pay what the other people gonna pay. This is nice.
Currumbin, for example. The water is crystal clear blue, right? There's a gelatissimo gelato shop. By the way, my wife and I love that place so much, we actually had them at our wedding. It was brilliant. And you look at the sign and it says you've got 2 hours for completely free, and because it's got the 2p and it's green. And that's the thing, in the UK you pay for the privilege to have your chips nicked by a seagull. Whereas in Australia, at least if they get nicked, you haven't paid for parking. I think it goes so much deeper than just saving a few dollars. It actually means that families and couples and people are gonna get out more, enjoy the sunshine safely, slip, slop, slap, remember, instead of being stuck indoors, because sometimes you can't afford it. I literally remember when I was at the beginning of my acting career in London, I wouldn't have been able to afford those sorts of things. So it really makes a difference and is very nice. Now, the next free thing on this list isn't just free in Australia, it's free in your country right now. And that's hitting that like button. Thank you so much. Now, the second thing...
I was about to say, hit me with it. I doubt it. No.
you don't have to pay for in Australia is sunscreen dispensers. at somewhere like the beach. It's not uncommon to find around the beach vicinity some sunscreen dispensers that you can help yourself to. And it's really important because Australia has
Sunscreen. What?
some sunscreen dispensers that you can help yourself to.
No way. Really? That's what I'm talking about. Caring for the public. It's not always about that money, you know? We can have it out here in the United States, out and about, but we gotta put a few quarters into something at least. It's always a gimmick, especially for convenience in the United States. Oh, best believe you're paying something, and it's probably gonna be top dollar, because where else you gonna get it from? Unless you walk back to the shops or something, you know?
And it's really important because Australia has one of the highest accounts for skin cancer.
Yeah,
you might think, oh,
wicked.
Sam, in the UK, isn't it all just grey and rainy? It's actually not. And ever since I've started living in Australia, I've started tracking my UV. And when I came back to visit the UK, I realised that, particularly in summer, as you'd expect, our UV index can get quite high. We have some pretty high accounts of skin cancer in the UK. And, you know, I've got older relatives who are British and have to get skin cancer cut out of their faces and things, and it's very nasty and it's very horrible. And I think
I didn't know you can actually. Okay, let's continue. I didn't know you can actually get skin cancer cut out of the face, or like cut out of the area, the primary area where it's at, where it's targeted, where it's affecting. I didn't. I'm gonna look that up. I didn't know that.
it's because we just don't have the same promotion and marketing about sun safety as you do in Australia. Free sunscreen in the UK, I don't see that happening anytime soon, especially as a lot of Brits, they don't take the sun seriously. I can say this from experience, and also having British friends and relatives will often, I don't do it anymore, go out to the beach, not put a drop of sunscreen on, and you'll see it on Bondi Rescue. The Brits flock to the beach and they look like tomatoes by the end of it because they haven't put sunscreen on, and they think they're indestructible compared to the Australian UV levels, and sadly, you're just not.
You know what? I had to educate myself though and realize, Strac, just because you don't get sunburn, I've been in the hottest of the hot guys. I've been blessed to be able to travel to certain places around the world. Just not to your beautiful country yet. The sun is wicked. The sun is wicked. The closer you get to the equator, man, that sun is hitting. It's like closer, literally. So I wasn't putting no sunscreen on. Dominican Republic, Mexico, Puerto Rico, I ain't putting no sunscreen on. Never in my life. And I've never gotten sunburn either. So it had me thinking I'm indestructible. Like, man, what? Skin cancer? Man, I ain't getting none of that. I can't get that. I'm good. And it was like an ignorant thing, and I had to actually educate myself, because let's all keep it 100. We know, well, at least over here in the United States, it's a stereotype. And black people don't get sunburn. Oh, African people don't get sunburn. What? It depends where you've grown up, you know, born and raised, what you were used to, because you know, like, the climate is very different versus somebody come from the United States. So that could be, you know, very true. But yet again, my mom is black and she gets sunburned. So I was like, oh, wait a minute, something ain't right here. So does that mean even if you don't get sunburned? I was asking these questions. Even if we don't get sunburned, does that mean you could still possibly get skin cancer? And that's even worse because of the fact that your body's not warning you now, telling you that the sun is too hot or it's affecting your skin to the point where you need to apply stuff? Or are we good because, like, our skin, our body's not telling us that the sun is affecting us, or because we're immune to it, you know? Our bodies are more adapt to this type of environment or this or that, or used to it more? Please let me know. I got a billion questions. Gosh, I'm so proud of myself for getting that out fluently, for real, but not being all over the place, because boy, I have so much on my mind. Please let me know. To this day, I still don't put sunscreen on, but, like, let me know, guys. You know? I feel like I should look that up as well after the video, but I love reading the comments as well, for real. Man.
To the Australian UV levels, and sadly, you're just not. The third thing you don't have to pay for in Australia is council tax and water.
Oh, didn't I say extort the world? Make them pay for water. Something in my head told me, though, Australia is not. Yeah, y'all not paying for water? No, like bottled water? Okay, let's get into it.
Third thing you don't have to pay for in Australia is council tax and water occasionally when you're renting. Now, I know that there will definitely be some Australians in the comments who will disagree with this, but hear me out. When my wife and I were living in London, we were paying a lot of money for a shoebox of a 1-bedroom apartment. And safe to say, we weren't getting our money's worth. But not only did we have to pay our big chunk of money to the landlord for our rent, we also had to pay our council tax, which is known as rates in Australia. It's what you pay the local council. We also had to pay for our gas and electric, for our water bill, and for our broadband, of course. Now, all of those things, as an adult, you expect to pay for. No problem at all. But when my wife and I booked our first ever apartment in Brisbane, we were so excited, and we were looking through the contract and everything, and it said absolutely nothing about a water bill, and it said absolutely nothing about paying rates or council tax. And I thought, surely not. So I emailed our landlord and he was like, yeah, mate, you don't have to pay for water. We're paying that for you. And you don't have to pay for the rates. And I thought, that's a bit nice. Now, a lot of you will probably want to comment, Sam, come on, mate, you're still paying for your rates and you're still paying for your water bill. They just lump it in to that rental payment. So you're still paying for it, mate. Totally valid. And I completely agree. But the reason I still put this on the list was because we were still paying $200 less than our tiny London apartment with black mold. We got double the size of that apartment, big balcony, an outdoor space we never had in London, and we had a garage for our car. And then we only had to pay broadband, electricity, and hot water on top of that.
And just hot water?
Even the dog loves it. Of course, this was our
and just hot water. Oh, okay.
Personal experience in Brisbane, the Queensland state. And also, if you own a home anywhere in Australia, you're gonna have to pay for that water bill and those rates and everything else on the list. It's just on this occasion, we got a bit lucky.
Or wait, oh, did you get lucky? I thought it was like if you're renting though. This is how it works when you're renting monthly, you know? Rather than paying a mortgage and everything on a home, you're renting. I thought that counted for everybody renting. Never mind. No? Or did they just get a good deal? They got lucky? But no. But isn't that like twisting, bending the rules a little bit, you know? You could do that? Or does this apply to anybody renting?
Tell you what.
All my people out there in Australia renting, man, please. That question was specifically for you. Please help me out. I told you, I want little states in every country, man. I want little states in every country. We're going to get that. We're going to get it.
And everything else on the list. It's just on this occasion, we got a bit lucky. Tell you what, one thing the UK does have an upper hand on Australia with is that blackberries, they're absolutely free here. Oh my word. Delicious as well. Number 4, the best swimming pool in the entire world. Now, the pool in South Bank has a lot of mixed opinions from the locals. Some people absolutely love it and they think it's a world-class
That's how I want like my backyard or something. If I had like a nice little mansion. I mean, like what else you gonna have it with? You know what I'm saying? Like mansion style house. Man, I want the sand back there and all that.
Man-made lagoon, while others think it's tacky, it's not cool. The fact that it's next to a man-made beach as well, they just think is absolutely awful. Well, there was only one way for me to find out who was telling the truth, and that was to go visit it. And I did, and I have to say, it's pretty amazing. Now, the UK equivalent would probably be something like an indoor leisure centre that would cost you at least, you know, £8.50, £10, £15 for a day pass. And some people might see being indoors as a pro, but I think that the fact that you can be outdoors in a pool that is filtered on the Brisbane River, and if you get bored of that, you can go jump in the man-made beach right next to it, and you're in the gorgeous Australian sunshine. I think it's absolutely amazing. And the thing is, Australia has absolutely nailed that public spaces are designed for enjoyment and not profit. They're not trying to make a quick buck out of every single thing being built. But here's the truth, when I used to live here in the UK, money stress was constantly weighing on me. It literally felt like you had to budget for everything. And that wasn't just for the obvious stuff like, you know, rent, council tax. It was for things like going out for something as small as a coffee and cake at a budget cafe with your mate. But then coming to Australia, suddenly these, what felt like massive expenses just got a little bit lighter. And I really think that's why I feel more confident to take risks. That's why I believe my work ethic and productivity is much stronger in Australia, because I don't have this mental drain of, oh, how are you going to pay for this? How are you going to pay for that in the back of my mind 24/7, like it literally was when I was start of my acting career in London. And just reducing those little things that have a negative mental drain on you really gives you so much more energy and time back, and with that comes a bit more happiness. Number 5, electric barbecues. Now, when you go to Australia for the first time, you'll see these things absolutely everywhere, and they are absolutely
electric barbecues. Are there some areas or some parks that have, like, or should I say public areas, public spaces that have charcoal grills? Forgive me for hitting the desk, guys. I'm a little too close. I'm gonna back up a little bit. But like, I know he said electric, but I'm assuming that there's some people that enjoy charcoal, you know, more than electric. You know, like I personally do, but there's got to be like some charcoal grills around, right? Or at least certain areas, or is it strictly electric? Is it strictly electric? And does it have something to do with the environment? If so, if it's strictly electric all around Australia, now I'm just asking questions, but I'm trying to, trying to ask the right questions. I'm not trying to judge or none of that. I'm trying to understand as to why such and such. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all so much for your patience. Thank you for always educating me, rocking with your boy for real. You know, we don't judge none of that. We just want to educate ourselves.
When you go to Australia for the first time, you'll see these things absolutely everywhere, and they are absolutely incredible, because not only are they completely free to use, but they are so much better than anything you find in the UK. Whereas in Australia, they are these big silver things, right? You can fit loads of food on them, and they are completely free to use. And all you need to do when you get there is just bring some cleaning products to give them a clean, because I've heard all sorts of stories about what happens on them. So, but the beauty of it isn't just that it's free, that you'll find them in the perfect spots, like on the beach, like in the park.
What happens on them? Don't tell me y'all be knocking boots on the grills. What happens to them besides cooking what? Something you don't eat. They put anaconda on there or something, alligator, something, swine. What they point, like, you know what I'm saying?
Like places where people would actually use them, and you don't see that sort of ingenuity in the UK all the time. If there is a convenient sort of public amenity, it's never when you need it. And it's becoming all too common now in the UK that you aren't allowed to take disposable barbecues with you to, a lot of beaches, a lot of parks and things like that. And if you do get caught in those places where it's not allowed, of course, you'll get a fine from the council, which means you're actually paying for the privilege of having a barbecue that you've also had to pay for a disposable one at the supermarket. I once had to rehearse some lines for an upcoming audition whilst, one of my mates was flipping sausages next to me, and it felt like the most Australian actor experience of my life. Number 6, public toilets. Now, I've heard Australians joking about having to pay to go for a wee in the UK in the public toilets a lot, and I would sort of laugh and think, oh, surely that's not true. But on this recent trip back, when we were in Cornwall, the amount of toilets that you would have to pay for was absolutely mind-boggling.
No.
Whereas in Australia, not only do you not have to pay a single cent to go into the toilets, there are so many more of them. They are so much more accessible. They are placed in the perfect spots that you need them in. And also, in my experience, they've been very, very clean. I'm sure that...
Is it like a etiquette type of etiquette? It's like an etiquette type of thing, like etiquette. I gotta stop messing that word up. But you see what I'm saying, though, because you're not gonna draw those type of ignorant, nasty people in to use the bathroom, if they have to pay. I mean, that's kind of like a stereotype as well, because it's more so thinking like, oh, well, let's attract more of the classy willing to pay, which means that they're a little more classy, or, they're going to use this bathroom the proper way without destroying it, since there might not be workers or people around to always clean it and manage it on the spot, like how a restaurant or a school or this or that, or a rest stop, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way I could really see That's the only way I can really see that. Etiquette. Etiquette. Like sometimes it's the way I be saying it, and I be like, why'd you say it like that, man?
There are public toilets in other parts of the country that have less than optimal standards for, you know, their cleanliness and everything, but I've never seen you having to pay for a public toilet in Australia, which, in my opinion, makes it absolutely brilliant. Number 7, city centre transport. Now, I can only speak for Brisbane and Melbourne for these 2 points, but in Melbourne, if you're just getting on the CBD line, that is completely free. You don't have to tap your MyKey card, which is what you load your money onto. In Brisbane, if you're just getting on this loop here, right, and this is what they call it, it is completely free and you don't pay a penny. Whereas in the UK, public transport is really expensive. I mentioned in a previous video, this is how much it would cost in Australian dollars if I wanted to get a 2-hour train from Cheltenham to London. Actually,
2 hours, 84. Yeah, it costs about like 150 here.
Rechecked it today and it gone up to 200 Australian dollars, which is crazy for a return, that is. And when I began my acting career in London, paying for the tube every day was eating into my savings so much. It was genuinely so stressful. And by the way, if you want to get any insider tips about being a Brit, rebuilding life in Australia, and some of the things I wish I knew when I first moved there, then make sure you subscribe to my free weekly newsletter that's only a 3-minute read. I'll leave that in the first link in the description below for you. Number 8 is watching the TV. Now, if you want a fancy cable network subscription in Australia or streaming services, of course you have to pay for them like you would in any country. But if you want to watch normal daytime terrestrial television in Australia, this is completely free. And this completely shocked me as a Brit. But in the UK, we have to pay this much to watch terrestrial TV because the BBC channels are on there. So the money goes towards them to, you know, help fund it. And so they don't have to have ads. And this includes watching BBC iPlayer. In Australia, there's no such thing. You can pop the telly on, and as long as you're not stealing some sort of cable network and it's just the normal terrestrial channels that come with, you know, free TV in Australia, yeah, you don't pay a cent. Now, everyone in the UK knows that if you don't pay for a TV license, you start getting these letters through the door that say, we know you're not paying for a TV license, so, you know, make sure you get on it now, otherwise there's some pretty hefty consequences. So my wife and I, we bought one.
Damn. I mean, I wouldn't even have to deal with that because I don't even watch TV and it's unplugged. Man, y'all gonna stop thinking I'm lying too. Look. This is how you know I'm not capping. Look now. I didn't unplug nothing, man. I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV, nor do I have cable. I let go of the cable like years ago because it was all streaming, you know, services I was actually watching. I don't even watch like, you know, movies and stuff like that no more, those streaming services. I don't do that. So yeah. Well, we gotta deal with that.
Because there's some pretty hefty consequences.
Majority of
So
the world,
my wife
though.
and I, we bought one because we're very good. And the funny thing is, it was money that went completely down the drain because we never watched it. We
You see what
never
I'm saying?
watched the terrestrial channels. We never watched BBC, and it was just an absolute waste of money. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't click away yet. You'll
Got us paying pay-per-view channels and all that shit. I'm like, wait a minute. If I want to watch a fight, I'll pay the pay-per-view that night. You're not gonna charge us to get to including this and this on the plan. Talk about, oh well, these channels are included too. I'm not gonna watch nothing on these channels. I'm not gonna do what? Let go of it. Here, I gave back the box and the cord. You can have that too with the remotes. Thank you very much. Let me get the batteries back.
probably want to hear the 8 words that Aussies pronounce completely differently from us Brits. So go watch that.
If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, turn all post notifications on, share the video and channel. See your friends and family members, guys. Man, we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and we're going to hit it fast. Can we hit it by, like, the end of the summer? 10,000 on this channel by the end of the summer is a vibe. Feel free to follow the Twitch and subscribe to all my other YouTube channels, guys. Share your honest thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Any experiences as well. and please feel free to answer any questions I may have had throughout this video. Again, original video link will be down below in the description. Stay safe, all my peoples. I love y'all, and I hope to catch you all in the next reaction video.